The Secret of the Golden Harvest. Leo was a boy with a very fast imagination. He could turn a cardboard box into a spaceship and a stick into a mighty sword. But Leo had a secret habit that wasn't very mighty. He loved the easy way. If his room was messy, he shoved everything under the bed. If his shoes were untied, he just tucked the laces inside. And when it came to school, Leo relied on his lucky socks rather than opening a book. His room was a chaotic kingdom of comic books, video game controllers, and half-finished drawings. Sunlight streamed through the window, highlighting the dust motes dancing in the air. Leo sat in his beanbag chair, furiously tapping buttons on his controller, completely ignoring the math textbook gathering dust on his desk. "I'll do it later," he muttered, a phrase he used more than any other. The next morning at Maplewood Middle School, Mr. Harrison stood at the front of the class. Mr. Harrison was a kind teacher with glasses that perched on the very tip of his nose. He tapped the whiteboard with a marker. "Listen up, everyone," he said, his voice serious but gentle. "The midterm mathematics assessment is in 1 week. This covers everything we've learned about fractions and geometry." The class groaned, but Leo just smirked. He looked down at his ankles. He was wearing his special neon green socks. "I don't need to worry," Leo thought. "I'm naturally smart, and these socks have never let me down." While other students began writing down chapters to study in their planners, Leo drew a little doodle of a dragon eating a fraction on the corner of his notebook. 3 days passed quickly. In the school library, Leo's best friend Maya was surrounded by a fortress of books. She had flashcards spread out like a battle plan. "Leo, come quiz me on improper fractions," she called out, waving a card. Leo leaned against the bookshelf, spinning a basketball on his finger. "Relax, Maya. Why stress? It's just math. It makes sense or it doesn't. You're overthinking it," he laughed, truly believing that effort was something people did when they weren't smart enough to just get it. Maya frowned, looking at her books. "It's not about being smart, Leo. It's about being prepared." Leo just shrugged and headed for the playground. The weekend arrived. This was the prime time for studying, but for Leo, it was the prime time for the new Galactic Quest video game level. "I'll study Sunday night," he promised himself on Saturday morning. "I'll study Sunday morning," he promised himself on Saturday night. Sunday flew by like a bird in a hurricane. Leo helped his dad wash the car, he read a comic book, and he ate a lot of popcorn. Before he knew it, the sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of purple and orange. A tiny knot of worry began to form in his stomach, but he pushed it down. "I'll just wake up early and look over the notes," he whispered to his unmade bed. Monday morning was chaos. Leo overslept. He couldn't find his left lucky sock. He had to settle for 1 green sock and 1 blue one. He scarfed down his toast and ran to the bus, his backpack bouncing heavily against his shoulders. He tried to open his math book on the bumpy bus ride, but the words jiggled and blurred. "Hey, did you memorize the formulas for the area of a trapezoid?" Maya asked as he sat down next to her. Leo's mind went blank. "Trapezoid? Is that the shape of a pizza slice?" "No, that's a triangle." Yeah, totally," Leo lied, his heart beating a little faster. The confidence he felt last week was beginning to crack like thin ice. The classroom was silent. The only sound was the ticking of the clock. Tick-tock, tick-tock, which sounded unusually loud to Leo. Mr. Harrison placed the test paper face down on Leo's desk. "You may begin," the teacher said. Leo flipped the paper over. He smiled, ready to breeze through it, but as his eyes scanned the first question, his smile vanished. Question 1. Calculate the area of the shaded region. Leo stared. The numbers didn't make sense. They looked like alien symbols. He looked at question 2. It was even harder. A cold sweat broke out on his forehead. He looked around. Everyone else was writing furiously. Time seemed to speed up. 10 minutes left, Mr. Harrison announced. Leo looked at his paper. He had only answered 3 questions, and he wasn't sure about 2 of them. He started guessing. C seems like a good letter, he thought, circling random answers. His hand shook. He looked down at his mismatched socks. They didn't feel lucky anymore. They just felt like cotton. When the bell rang, Leo felt a heavy stone settle in his chest. He handed his paper to Mr. Harrison, avoiding the teacher's eyes. He knew. He just knew. Wednesday was results day. Mr. Harrison called students up one by one. When Leo's name was called, the walk to the front of the room felt like walking through quicksand. Mr. Harrison handed him the paper folded in half. Leo went back to his desk and slowly peeled up the corner. He didn't see a star. He didn't see a great job. He saw a big red letter F and a note, "Please see me after class." The world felt like it stopped spinning. Leo felt hot and cold at the same time. Maya leaned over, saw the grade, and quickly looked away, not wanting to embarrass him. After the other students left, Leo stood by Mr. Harrison's desk. "I don't understand," Leo stammered. "I'm good at math. I usually just get it." Mr. Harrison took off his glasses and polished them. "Leo, you are a bright boy. You have a quick mind. But a garden doesn't grow just because the soil is good. It needs water, sunlight, and weeding. You relied on your soil, but you didn't do the farming." Leo looked at his shoes. "I didn't study," he admitted, his voice barely a whisper. "I thought I didn't have to." Walking home was terrible. The birds seemed to be mocking him. The sun felt too bright. When he got home, he found his mom in the kitchen. She looked up and saw his face. "Leo, what's wrong?" He couldn't hide it. He pulled the crumpled paper from his bag. His mom looked at it, then at him. She didn't yell. She didn't ground him. She just looked sad. "Oh, Leo," she sighed. "We know you're capable of more. It's not the grade that hurts, it's knowing you didn't try your best." That disappointment hurt Leo more than any punishment could have. Leo retreated to his room. He sat in his beanbag chair, but he didn't turn on his video game. He looked at the mess around him, the dirty clothes, the scattered papers. Suddenly, his easy way of doing things didn't feel easy. It felt heavy. He looked at the drawing of the dragon he had made in class instead of taking notes. The dragon looked silly now. Leo balled up the drawing and threw it in the trash. He lay back and stared at the ceiling. "I hate this feeling," he thought. "I never want to feel this small again." The next afternoon, Leo went to see his grandpa, who lived a few blocks away. Grandpa was in his vegetable garden, kneeling in the dirt. He was pulling tiny weeds from around a tomato plant. "Grandpa?" Leo asked. "Why do you work so hard on these? Can't you just let them grow?" Grandpa wiped his forehead. "Nature is wild, Leo. If I don't put in the work, the weeds will choke the tomatoes. The best fruit comes from the hardest work." Grandpa handed Leo a small shovel. "Want to help?" Leo spent the afternoon digging, weeding, and watering. His back ached, his hands were dirty, but when they finished, the garden looked orderly and beautiful. Grandpa handed him a fresh red tomato. "Taste that." Leo took a bite. It was sweet and juicy, better than anything from the store. "You see," Grandpa said, "you can't fake a harvest, Leo. You have to earn it." The words clicked in Leo's mind. You can't fake a harvest. He had tried to fake his math grade. He had tried to harvest without planting seeds. That evening, Leo walked into his room. He didn't sit in the beanbag. He went to his desk. He shoved the comic books aside. He cleared away the old candy wrappers. He found his math textbook buried under a pile of laundry. He dusted off the cover. He opened his planner. There was a retest in 2 weeks for students who failed. "Okay," Leo said aloud to the empty room. "Time to plant the seeds." He took out a fresh notebook and a sharpened pencil. Studying was hard. It was boring. Leo's brain wanted to think about spaceships, not fractions. After 10 minutes, he wanted to quit. He reached for his controller. But then he remembered the sinking feeling of the F. He remembered his mom's disappointed face. He remembered the sweet tomato. He pulled his hand back from the controller. "No," he said firmly, "until I finish this chapter." He forced himself to read the sentence again, and then again. Slowly, it started to make sense. A few days later, Leo found Maya in the library. "Hey," he said, feeling a bit shy, Can I study with you?" Maya looked up, surprised. Then she smiled. "Grab a chair, Leo." Leo didn't make jokes this time. He asked questions. Why do we flip the fraction when we divide? It's the reciprocal. Think of it like doing a cartwheel. Leo drew a little picture of a number doing a cartwheel. It helped him remember. He wasn't just using his imagination to escape, he was using it to learn. The day of the retest arrived. Leo put on his socks. They were just regular gray socks this time. He didn't need luck, he had preparation. When Mr. Harrison handed out the paper, Leo took a deep breath. He flipped it over. Question 1. Calculate the area of the shaded region. Leo looked at the shape. He broke it down into a square and a triangle, just like he practiced. He wrote down the formula. He plugged in the numbers. He solved it. A feeling of calm washed over him. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't impossible anymore. Leo finished the test with 5 minutes to spare. Instead of drawing dragons, he went back and checked his work. He found a small mistake in question 4. He had added instead of subtracted. He erased it and fixed it. He walked up to Mr. Harrison's desk and handed in the paper. "Thank you, Mr. Harrison," Leo said. The teacher smiled. "You look different today, Leo." "I feel different," Leo replied. He felt lighter, like he wasn't carrying a secret weight anymore. 2 days later, Mr. Harrison handed back the papers. Leo held his breath. He turned the paper over. There was no F. There was a big blue B+, and a note, "Excellent improvement. Hard work pays off." It wasn't a perfect A, but to Leo, it was the most beautiful grade he had ever seen. He had earned every single point on that paper. He felt a surge of pride that was much stronger than the rush of winning a video game. Leo ran home to show his mom. He taped the B+ to the refrigerator right next to his drawings. "I'm proud of you," Mom said, hugging him tight. "Not just for the grade, but for the work." Leo looked at the paper. He realized that talent was like a seed, but hard work was the water and the sun. Without them, the seed would sleep forever. With them, he could grow anything. "I think I'm going to go do my history homework now," Leo said. And for the first time in his life, he actually meant it. Moral of the story: natural talent is a gift, but hard work is a choice. Success doesn't come from luck or shortcuts. It comes from the effort you put in when no one is watching. Thank you for reading. I hope Leo's journey inspires you to water your own seeds of talent with dedication and effort.